ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। So namaste once again everyone.
नमस्ते गुरुजी।
हरि ओम गुरु।
हरि ओम।
नमस्ते गुरुजी।
हरि ओम। नमस्ते।
नमस्कार गुरुजी।
नमस्ते नमस्कारम।
नमो नमः महोदय।
नमो नमः। So we are discussing the 10th mantra of the second khanda of the first mundaka. Okay, we will chant. Ishtapurtam manyamanaah
इष्टापूर्तं मन्यमानाः
वरिष्ठं नान्यच्छ्रेयः वेदयन्ते प्रमूढाः नाकस्य पृष्ठे ते सुकृतेनु भूत्वा इमं लोकं हीनतरं भाविषन्ति। And we will also chant the first sentence of the Bhashya, which we started discussion the last class. Okay. Ishtam Yagadi Srautam Karma Purtam Vapi Kupatadagadi Smartham Etadeva Atishayena Purushartha Sadhanam Varishtam Pradhanam iti Tayantaha Anyad Atmajnanakyam Shreyah Shreyassadhanam Na Vedayante
वेदयन्ते
न जानन्ति
न जानन्ति
प्रमूढाः
प्रमूढाः
पुत्र पशु बन्ध्वादिषु
पुत्रपशुबन्ध्वादिषु
प्रमत्ततया मूढाः.
प्रमत्ततया मूढाः.
Very good. A good improvement in chanting. Huh? Good. So we are discussing the mantra 19 of the Upanishad, which is 1 to 10, where the topic of karma ninda is continuing, karmi ninda is continuing. And in this mantra, the Shruti is pointing out that there are deeply deluded karmis who consider that Vaidika karmas, that is the Shrauta and Smarta karmas, if done properly, will result in their getting Swargaloka, which according to them is moksha. So for them, these karmas are moksha sadhanam, and they have no clue about the actual moksha sadhanam, which the Shastra talks about, which the Upanishads talk about. And they are also blissfully unaware of the fact that the karma phalam of Swarga which they get is due to the punyam earned by them by performing the Vaidika karmas. And that the Swarga Sukham, or their so-called moksha, will last only till stock of their punyam lasts. Once the punyam gets exhausted, they will be back in Bhuloka, or even in lower lokas, or even lower yonis rather. Of course, all this depending upon the upcoming prarabdha, which are their prarabdha karmas which are maturing. So their so-called moksha can give only anitya ananda, impermanent sukham, unlike jnana yoga, which will give nitya ananda, permanent sukham. And in the last class, we entered the bhashyam and were discussing the first sentence of the bhashyam, where Bhashyakara is explaining the first half of the mantra, namely Ishtapurtam Manyamanaha Varishtam Nanyat Shreyah Vedayante Pramudhaha. And towards the end of the class, I was explaining that these Pramudaha, these deeply deluded karmis, they shun Vedanta. And they would not even like to talk about what the Upanishad says. In fact, they will ridicule the very idea of Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, etc. to be the means for moksha. In fact, they will ask, how can you get moksha by going on studying the scriptures, deliberating upon that knowledge? They say you may gain knowledge, we agree, but not moksha. And they will give a very simple example of cooking. They will say, by studying the recipes again and again and again, will the food be ready to eat? Studying the recipes is required, but the food needs to be cooked, So the action or karma alone makes the food ready to eat, not merely studying the recipes again and again and contemplating on them. And this is not just, we are making it up. I have personally heard this argument from a very senior and popular yoga guru who was addressing a very large gathering. In fact, those were my early days of Vedanta. I was also not very much, I would say, fully Vedanta was not fully embedded in me. And he came down so heavily upon Vedanta that actually I had half a mind to go to the stage and confront him on the stage itself. But then I thought that, he's a big popular yoga Swamiji. And there are so many hundreds of people are there. All yoga practitioners come to listen. They have come to listen to him. So what happens is, you can profess what you believe is correct. There's no harm. But don't try to put down others. Don't try to put the other philosophies without studying them, without understanding. But then these people, these karmis, non-Advaita Vedantins, they are so steeped in their beliefs, which has got no Vedic support. So Bhashyakara says, na vedayante means na jananti. They do not know. And who are they? Pramuda hai. In an earlier mantra, they were called Muda hai. So now they are given a promotion. They are called Pramuda hai. Prakarshena Muda hai. Or Bhashyakara says, Pramattataya Muda hai. Generally, the prefix praha stands for prakarshena. Got a sense of excellent or more intense. But Bhashyakara, explains it in a different way. As we see, Muda means deluded. The word here, pramattataya, means Bhashyakara uses it in the sense of being intoxicated, obsessed, overly attached, blind attachment, blind craving. That is called pramattataya. So now some people will often ask that they, almost every satsang they ask, if I live a good ethical life and I do a lot of service to others, isn't that enough? Should I be religious? Should I be spiritual? I am an ethical person. Certain values I follow. I do good to the society. So isn't that enough? And they will further, is it not said, Naraseva hi Narayana Seva? The Upanishad says, if that is fine with you, we have no issue. But from our standpoint, you will be given the title of Pramudaha. You may be a great person, but you will come under the category of Pramudaha. That means what? All the social work is good, essential, but not sufficient if moksha is your goal. All this work will give you lot of punya, no doubt. But that will not give you the ultimate purushartha. Moksha purushartha, they will not deliver. So pramattataya muda hai, obsessed with, intoxicated with what? Ishta and purta karma. And obsession with whom or what? He says putra pashu bandhvadishu. Putra means son, daughter, you can add all granddaughter, grandson, etc. Pashu means cattle. In today's case, because in the olden days, cattle was a form of wealth. A person was known to be a rich person if he owned a lot of cattle, cows, goats, etc. But nowadays we can say Pashu represents wealth in all forms like financial wealth, real estate, vehicles, etc. See, so far as investments, etc. are concerned, some people are so obsessed that they will watch the stock market movement, gold price movement, not every day, but every hour. And if they find the market is going down for whatever reason, they start panicking. And there are some others, who have got so much obsession with their cars that even a small scratch could give them a heart attack. Highly attached to their cars. They may not do any other household work, but they will spend an hour every day morning washing, polishing their car to make it shine. In fact, I'm remembering one old Hindi movie where this character Asrani, who recently passed away, he plays a Parsi character, whether he is owning a car. I don't remember the name of the movie. So he actually, he calls that car, in Parsi, Dikra, Gujarati means child, like that, son. So he treats the car as if it is his child. So these are all the kinds of obsessions these people have with putra and pashu or wealth. Then there is another significant obsession, bandhu adishu. Bandhu means relatives. Mamakara, my wife, my brother, my sister, my father, my mother. So many my will be there. And this mamakara is a very strong obsession. So they are obsessed with putra, pashu and bandhu, and therefore they are moodaha. And for them, this obsession is like intoxication. Therefore, pramattataya moodaha, pramudaha. Now, what happens to them is described in the next line. I think we have already read all the only the sentence we will read. The last sentence of the Bhashya. Techa nakasya swargasya
नाकस्य स्वर्गस्य
prishte uparistane
पृष्ठे
उपरिस्थाने
sukrute bhogayatane
सुकृते
भोगायतने
anubhutva anubhuya
अनुभूय
karma phalam
कर्मफलं
punaha imam lokam manusham
मानुषम्
asmat hinataram va
अस्मादीनतरं वा
tiryang narakadi lakshanam
तिर्यं नरकादिलक्षणम्
yata karma sesham
यथा कर्मशेषम्
vishanti.
विशन्ति
Good. So techa. And these people, te is there in the moolam. So Bhashyakara says techa. He doesn't explain te means those people and all. Because he knows if we are all intelligent people, we will understand. So techa and those people, nakasya. Bhashyakara explains nakasya as swargasya. We have already discussed, prishte means uparistane. Uparistanam, as we have seen, means higher localities of Swarga, posh localities. So it seems in the heavens also, there are slum areas, or slum-like areas, relatively. Not the kind of slums that we see in the Bhuloka, but maybe, some exalted slums. And there are also some prime locations where VIPs live. Because obviously, when the jiva, having earned enough punyam, goes to Swarga, he is a new entrant. Devatas and all are already there, ruling over. So obviously they will be living in, big bungalows and all. And this jiva will have those ordinary accommodation. First he will be provided. And he will be watched how he is enjoying himself and all. Like every city has got such posh localities, So probably, this is all imagination of the Acharyas, Swarga also perhaps such localities exist. Because the word Prishte is used by the Upanishad, so it must have some meaning. Because Swarga is a region accomplished by karma, and since in karma always there can be gradation. A particular karma can be done for 1 day, 10 days, 1 month. Qualitative gradation is there. Quantitative gradation is also there. Devotion gradation is also there. Faith gradation is there. We have discussed all this, I think, earlier. Some people, they will do Sandhya Vandanam in the morning. First of all, they will not do it at the right time. Secondly, they want to finish it off quickly. So even though they are supposed to chant 108 Gayatri mantras, they will find somewhere the Shastra says that if you can't chant 108, you can chant 64. If you can't chant 64, you can chant 32. If you can't chant 32, you can chant 12 Gayatri mantras. But these are exceptional circumstances. They will use all these exceptions and say, okay, I will just chant 12 Gayatri mantras every day morning. I will do Sandhya Vandanam, 12 Gayatri mantras. So, quantitatively, there is a lower grade. And while doing the Gayatri, Sandhya Vandanam, suppose they will keep the cell phone on the side. They will wait for somebody to call so that in between they can attend the call. Qualitatively, they will not be concentrating on what they are doing. So, you can go on explaining. So many different gradations can be there even in performance of karmas. And because of that, the result of the karma, which is punyam, also there will be gradation, A person who is doing continuously 108 Gayatri Japam will certainly be superior to the one who is doing only 12 Gayatri Japam. So, in that phalam, punya phalam also, there will be gradation, and therefore, Swarga also we can imagine there will be a gradation. Otherwise, what? Like many times it happens, in government departments and all. Horse and this donkey, everything run in the same way. Whether you do good work or don't do good work, you will have to get the same promotion, same increments, etc. So probably in the Swarga, we may have a low punyam group housing, LPG housing. We have got LIG, low income group, like low punyam group. Then middle punyam group housing, high punyam group housing, etc. And these people, they go to higher grade, higher punyam group. Therefore, uparistane gatva, having gone there. Then sukrite. Sukrite is an adjective to Swargaloka. Here, the word sukritam means sukrita phalam. Lakshanaya sukritam refers to sukrita phalam, which means punya phalam. Because Swargaloka, going to Swargaloka is the phalam of punyam. And therefore, having reached the Swargaloka, which is the result of punyam, what is the nature of that Swargaloka? Bhogayatanam. Bhashyakara says, Bhogayatanam. That is also an adjective to Swargaloka only, which is an abode of enjoyment. Ayatanam means an abode, a place of bhoga. In fact, Tattvabodha students can recall, while defining Stula Shariram, it was said, Panchikrita Panchamahabhutah Kritam Satkarma Janyam Sukha Dukkadi Bhoga Ayatanam. So Bhogayatanam means abode of enjoyment, abode of pleasure. And what is the significance of saying Bhogayatanam? Why do we say Swargaloka is Bhogayatanam? Because according to Shastra, in Swargaloka, a person can only expend the punyam. He cannot replace the exhausting punyam by earning fresh punyam. There is only permit for spending. Like the tourist visas, going to various countries. You cannot earn anything there. You can only spend when you visit those countries. Take enough dollars or whatever the currency, credit card, go and spend. But if you are caught earning something, then you will be in trouble. And that means in Swargaloka, we keep on only spending the punyam by enjoyment. And if you want to replenish it, you have to come back to Bhuloka. Therefore, Swargaloka is called Kevala Bhoga Bhumi. Bhuloka is both Karma Bhumi and Bhoga Bhumi. And therefore, Bhashyakara adds the adjective Bhogayatane, Swarge. Then Anubhutva. Anubhutva is in the Moolam. For that, the Vyakhyanam is Anubhuya. Because when we were discussing the mantra, words of the mantra, I had said, Anubhutva is grammatically not correct. It is Chandasa Prayoga, Vedic usage. And when a grammatical mistake occurs in the Veda, we don't say it is a mistake. We say it is a Vedic usage, Chandasa Prayoga, and Vedas have got the license to use words which are not strictly correct as per grammar. In fact, the similar license is available even to poets. When they are composing poems or songs, etc., it need not necessarily be, it can take some amount of imagination, some degree of wrong usage, grammatical wrong usage of the verbs or nouns, etc., are permitted in poetry also. And Bhutva, Sanskrit students will know it is Tvantam Abhyayam. It cannot be used because there is a prefix Anu is there. Therefore, Lyabbantam Abhyayam alone can be used, which is Bhuyaha. All these are for Sanskrit students. Why it is Anubhutva is not correct? We must, and that is the beauty, when we are studying the Bhashyam, it also helps us to improve our knowledge of the Sanskrit language. And that is why Upanishad Bhashyam always goes along with study of Sanskrit language. Study of Sanskrit language means, I don't mean just, some conversation, you attend some classes. You are able to say, Mama Nama so-and-so, and other sentences, simple sentences. That is not the Sanskrit I am talking about. It's also Sanskrit, but they are only useful for daily usage to speak in Sanskrit. And the tragedy is even people who have learned all these things, I've never seen them, regularly speaking or conversing in Sanskrit. They will converse in Tamil or Hindi or whatever other local language is common to both the people who are conversing. But they will say, I have learned Sanskrit, I'm learning Sanskrit. What is the purpose of such learning? God alone knows. Well, anything that we do in life, there must be a purpose. So if you are learning Sanskrit, learn advanced Sanskrit, learn Ashtadhyayi, Panini Sutras. Very difficult. I'm telling you, it is not easy. But then if you have that goal in life, nothing is difficult. You have to probably sacrifice so many other things and focus on this. In Gurukulam also, the people who we all joined, 95% of us had no Sanskrit background. Many of them are foreigners. But 3.5 years, we went through the drill. At the end of it, we got a fair understanding of the language. Even though there are 4,000 sutras are there in Panini Sutras in Ashtadhyayi, we could study in 3.5 years only 800 sutras. But with that, we learned, how to understand the words in Upanishads, in Bhashyam, etc. That was enough. I mean, the purpose was only for us to understand the words in the Bhashya. So that when an Acharya is explaining something, we are not lost. And therefore, Bhashyakara is giving the correct Sanskrit version for Anubhutva. He says Anubhuya. They experience, they enjoy. What do they enjoy there? He says karma phalam. Of course, they enjoy their own karma phalam in the form of pleasure. And as I said, only punya karma phalam is experienced, not papa karma phalam in Swarga. So you can imagine, when only the stock of punya karmas are getting exhausted by enjoyment, and you cannot earn fresh punya also, what will be happening to the Sanchita karma bundle? Of course, enjoyment of punya karma phalam in Swargaloka is good news. But the punyam stock in the Sanchita karma is going down. Then what happens? Till now, good news, the Upanishad talked. Now narrative turns to bad news. What is that? He says punaha. Here the word punaha means thereafter. Once again. Imam lokam manusham vishanti. They come back to bhuloka, manushya loka, which indicates what? Manushya shariram. In fact, with depleted punyam and papam remaining the same, if they get manushya shariram, they are lucky, because they can again add punyam and go to Swarga once more. But there is no guarantee that they will come back to Bhuloka only. That's one point. And that too, there is no guarantee that they will get a Manushya Sharira. Sometimes they may go to lower Janmas also. And therefore, Bhashyakara says, Asmad Hinataram Va. Hinataram means inferior. Asmat means to the Manushya Janma. So one option is when the punyam gets exhausted in the Swargaloka, but the balance of punyam which they have got in their Sanchita Karma bundle, balance means in the sense of the balance between punya and papa, is good enough for them to give another Manushya Janma. So in that case, they will get Manushya Janma. Or that is not the case. There's an adverse balance. The debit is more than the credit in Sanchita Karma account. And therefore, they may get something lesser than the Manushya Janma. What is lesser than Manushya Janma? Animal Janma, plant Janma, etc., where there is no free will. You are exposed to all the challenges of the weather out in the open. You don't have the ability to secure yourself like the human beings can. So lower than Hinataram. And what is that Hinataram? Bhashyakara explains as Tiryang Narakadi Lakshanam. So the lesser Janma can be of two types. A person may come to Bhuloka itself, but instead of Manusha Shariram, they may get an animal body. That is called Tiryang Lakshanam. Or there is another possibility also. What is that? Narakadi Lakshanam. They may get Manusha Shariram or Manushya like Shariram in lower lokas, where there is only consistent suffering. We see the description in the Puranas, like being fried in a big hot oil cauldron, etc. It's a good way to scare the children and keep them away from adharmic karmas. So like that also, Janma may come when the punyam of going to Sarga gets exhausted. Therefore, Tiryang Lakshanam or Narakadi Lakshanam Asmat Hinataram. The word Hinataram is also formed with what is called Taraf Pratyaya. The degree of comparison. There are two pratyayas used in Sanskrit to describe degree of comparison. They are Taraf and Tamaf. They convey the sense of irregular adjectives attached to nouns. Like in English, we have got comparative degrees on the positive. It is stated as good, better, and best. And negative comparisons are bad, worse, and worst. So here, Hinam means low. Hinataram means 1 degree lower than this he may get. Hinataram, Taraf Pratyaya is used. So now naturally the question will be, he may come to either the Manushya Loka or to lower form of life or even to lower Loka. Then on what basis or what is the basis or what decides whether it is Manushya Loka or lower Janma or lower Loka? It is not by accident, nor is it by chance, but it is all perfectly according to the law of karma. So after exhausting Swarga Punyam, Bhagavan will look into his computer and see what is the Sanchita Karma balance in his name. Out of that, which is the next set of karmas, the prarabdha karmas which are ready to mature. So the next prarabdha that has to be fructified will be determined. If the next prarabdha is Manushya prarabdha, he will get Manushya Sharira, Manushya Janma. If it is cockroach prarabdha, goat prarabdha, or upside down hanging bat prarabdha, according to whatever is there in the prarabdha store, Jiva will get that Janma. And therefore Bhashyakara says, Yata karma sesham. According to the remaining karma, the Jiva will take the next birth. And this cycle will go on and on and on. So this is what the karmis will go through. So here in this mantra, it is said that these people are deluded because they are considering karma alone to be the ultimate. And they do not know about Atma Jnanam. And even if they know, they will not accept it as means for moksha. The chances of their not knowing about Atma Jnanam is remote because every now and then it is talked about in the Vedas, or at least hinted. Even in Puranas it is mentioned. But these people, they ignore all that. And this is a human psychology. Generally, we have this tendency. We listen to only what we want to listen to. There is a saying, Kami Swatam Pashyati. So a person will be seeing only what he desires to see. And therefore, being blinded to other possibilities, this person ignores the Atma Jnanam topic. And therefore, what happens? They enjoy heaven for a while because of the punyam earned by doing karma. But when the punyam gets exhausted, they come back to either Manushya Loka or any other inferior loka, or they may even get a birth inferior to human birth. Thus, they remain in samsara. So, in this mantra, what was said in the earlier mantra is reinforced so that the message is well absorbed by the mumukshus. Now, we will go to the next mantra, mantra number 20. And for mantra number 20, Bhashyakara does not give any introductory comments. Because the topic is continuing, so what to again and again same comments. So we will straight away read the mantra. Okay.
21, sir.
Tapashraddhe
Tapashraddhe
ye hyupavasantyara
ye
he hyupavasantyah
ye upavantyah
sorry ye hyupavasanti
ye
vasanti
aranye
aranye
shantah shantah
shantaha
vidvamsah
vidvamsah
vaikshacharyam charantah
vaikshacharyam charantaha
suryadvarena
suryadvarena
te virajah prayanti yatramritah
yatramritah
tapurushah
sapurushah
havyayatma.
avyayatma.
So some words are a little bit difficult to pronounce. So I'll give you the padacheda. Then we will see the gist of the mantra. Tapashraddhe ye hi upavasanti aranye shantah vidvamsah vaikshacharyam charantah suryadvarena te virajah prayanti yatra amritah saha purushah hi avyayatma. That is how we have to split the words of the mantra. Okay. Now we see the gist of the mantra.
Sorry,
Yeah.
the first sentence, can you just give me again?
Tapashraddhe
ye
hi upavasanti.
he upavasanti.
Yeah, hi upavasanti. Combined it becomes hyupavasanti.
Oh, okay.
So that is the Sandhi rule in Sanskrit,
Upavasanti. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So We must now remember the development of the whole Mundaka Upanishad. And in the study of Bhashyam, that there is an advantage and there is a disadvantage also. Advantage is that we take each area thoroughly. We will dwell upon every word. And therefore, there is thoroughness of the study. But the disadvantage is that we could get lost in one small area. And because of which, we could often lose the sight of the totality. If in one topic a long bhashyam comes, followed by Purva Pakshi, etc., we could be lost. We could lose sight of the totality. We could even lose sight of the purpose of that mantra. What is the message that mantra is giving? So this is a disadvantage, downside of studying Bhashya. So here we should just recall that we are in Apara Vidya. We are actually discussing Apara Vidya. Apara Vidya consists of karma and upasana. So the Upanishad wants to talk about the limitation of Apara Vidya so that one will get vairagyam towards Apara Vidya and he or she will go to Paravidya, which gives moksha. So the Paravidya hero has to come. But of course, that hero will come only in the 12th mantra of this section. Now we have entered the 11th mantra. So now we are still in Aparavidya, consisting of karma and upasana. And of that, the Aparavidya karma itself, we divided into two portions. Up to the 6th mantra, we talked about the positive side of karma. And from the 7th up to the 10th mantra, we talked about the negative side or limitation of karma. So with the 10th mantra, the limitation of karma topic is over. So Aparavidya number 1 is over. Now this 11th mantra we are entering into is Aparavidya number 2, which consists of upasana or meditation. The only difference is, in the context of karma, the Upanishad used 10 mantras. But with regard to upasana, the Upanishad is using only one mantra. And in that one mantra itself, only the positive side is being talked about. But of course, for our understanding, we have to include the negative side also. So this is the essence of the 11th mantra. Upasana plus upasana and its plus and minus points. And according to Shastra, generally Grihastha is considered to be karma pradhana and Vanaprastha is considered to be upasana pradhana and Sannyasa ashrama is considered to be jnana pradhana. So Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa, karma, upasana, jnana. That is how they are correlated. So Grihastha you do all the karmas initially with, kamya karmas. Then you graduate to Nishkama karma, karma yoga, get chitta shuddhi. By that time you would have grown, family, children, all would have grown up. Children are settled. So then the Shastra says, this is the time for you to go to the next stage, Vanaprastha stage. Because if you continue to remain in the Grihastha, you are going to necessarily interfere in the lives of your children. You are going to still run behind, all the materialistic, benefits or materialistic goals. And if that continues, the process of Chitta Shuddhi will not be complete. And therefore, for you to develop enough vairagyam towards all these material things, Vanaprastha ashram is recommended. Vanaprastha need not necessarily mean you should go to some forest and all that. Vanaprastha means you should, sort of leave the responsibilities of the household to the children, others in the family, and go to or devote your time and energy to meditation, upasana. And therefore, the Upanishad says that some of the grihasthas and vanaprasthas commit themselves to the practice of upasana. It is not necessary that you should do upasana only when you go to vanaprastha. In fact, you could do upasana because upasana, meditation, gives chitta naishchalya. Chitta shuddhi is one part. Chitta naischalyam is another part. Concentration power, ability to focus. Because when you come to Jnana Yoga, these are all very important. Our mind, as we know, has not been trained for these things at all. We are all multitaskers. At the same time, we do 100 things. So even from the Grihastha stage itself, you can start upasana. And therefore, even some of the Grihasthas are upasana pradhana. Even though they have not given up the karmas completely, they can also become upasana pradhana by reducing the karmas, sticking only to nitya naimittika karmas, or even naimittika karmas they can reduce and sticking only to nitya karmas. And then during vanaprastha stage, they withdraw from active grihastha life, reduce their karma and practice upasana. This is the scheme of life which the Shastras recommend rather. And what is the definition of upasana? We have seen in Bhagavad Gita also. Saguna Ishvara Dhyanam. Meditation upon Ishvara with attributes. And these upasakas who are vanaprasthis also cannot give up the karmas totally. As I said, you have to at least continue performing the nitya karmas like Sandhya Vandanam, etc. till one takes sannyasa. So karma can exist without upasana, whereas upasana cannot exist without karma totally. And therefore upasakas may be committed to upasanas, but they cannot renounce the karma totally. Total renunciation of karmas is possible for sannyasis only. Therefore, every upasaka is a samuchaya karta, a combination of karma and upasana. And Sandhya Vandanam is a very, very, very good example for the combination of karma and upasana. Because the Gayatri Japam, the portion is basically what? Meditation on Gayatri represented by Aditya, by the sun. So earlier you have invoked the Ishvara in the sun, and then you do Gayatri Japam in the form of meditation. So Sandhya Vandanam is a very composite It includes everything, all elements of karma, upasana, everything is there. And since the upasaka has got a better sadhana because he has combined the two, naturally he will go to still higher loka called Brahma Loka. We have seen all these things earlier. So an ordinary karmi will go to Swarga Loka, upasaka will go to Brahma Loka. And the path they take are also different. All these are all basically fundamentals. In fact, we have seen all these details in the 8th chapter of Gita also. So two margas, Shukla Gati and Krishna Gati for the upasaka and Kevala Karmi respectively are there. I'm just reminding all of you about all these discussions because they will all be relevant in the understanding the mantra. And here one thing we have to note. In Shastra, there are certain karmas are prescribed which can be done without upasana, without meditation, or they can be done with meditation also. So two options are there. Either you do mere karma, which is called Kevala karma, or you do karma and upasana. There is no third option. Only upasana is not allowed. We must note this particular point. So either you do only karma or you do karma and upasana. And those who are practicing karma, upasana, samuchaya, what happens to them? What is their lifestyle? What is the result acquired by them? All that is described in this mantra, 11th mantra. And this is the gist of the mantra. Now we will see the mantra in detail. Tapashraddhe yehi upavasanti aranye. So those people, ye means those who. Tapashraddhehi, he means indeed. Upavasanti, here the word upavasanti means practice. So those who practice tapas and shraddha. Generally, the word tapas means kayendriya shoshana, means disciplining the body and the senses. That is called tapas. But here, the word tapas has got the meaning and refers to the duties prescribed for the stage of life, for the ashrama of life. And Shraddha means upasana. And here again, the word Shraddha is used in a technical sense. Generally, we have seen, Shraddha means Guru Shastra Vishwasaha. But here, Shraddha refers to upasana. And why the word Shraddha is used for upasana? Here one commentator says, Shraddha Purvakam Hiranya Garbhadi Devata Upasana Kriyate. So the meditation or upasana on Hiranya Garbha, etc., Saguna Ishwara, is done with Shraddha in the Shastra. And therefore he says, Shraddha word is used in the sense of upasana. Because commentators, they will come with all sorts of interpretations, So that is useful information for us. So, ye tapashraddhe upavasanti. Those people who practice the duties of ashrama and meditation. And where do they do this? Aranye. Aranya means in the forest. So remaining in the forest, having gone to the forest, Vanaprastha, those people who practice tapas, the duties of ashrama and shraddha meditation. And what kind of lifestyle they lead? The mantra says charantaha. Charantaha means they are resorting to, following. Bhaikshacharyam, the practice of bhiksha, the practice of living on alms. That is called Bhaikshacharyam. So the lifestyle or the practice characterized by seeking alms, seeking bhiksha for their living. So these people live in the forest and they follow the practice living on alms. That means what? They don't cook, they don't buy groceries, vegetables, etc. They go from household to household seeking food. And the households also, they deem it a noble act and a privilege to give food to such spiritual people. Okay, it's time up now. We will stop here. Bhaikshacharyam Charanta will continue in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Guruji.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaskaram.
Thank you. Hari Om, Guruji. Thank you.
Hari Om. Namaskaram.
Thank you, Guruji. Namaskaram.
Namaste.
Thank you, Guruji. Namaste. Pranam.
Namaste. Pranam.
Guruji, in my
Thank
book,
you, Guruji.
this
Thank you, Guruji.
title is given, a small title that is called Upasana Phala
Ah.
for this mantra we read.
Yeah. Some text and all, they will give a title so that you know what is there in that. Basically, the mantra is talking only about Upasana Phalam,
Yeah.
So
Karma
that
Upasana Phala.
Yeah, basically, it's only Upasana Phalam. Because here, when you come to the Vanaprastha stage, Upasana is the predominant. Karma is a subsidiary one, right? Earlier, Grihastha stage, karma was predominant, Upasana was, not that predominant, secondary. But in Vanaprastha stage, the order is reversed. So that is why they may say, give the title Upasana Phalam, etc. Which is fine. Any other question?
Namaste, Guruji. Upasakas go to Brahmaloka is what you told. So Shuklagati is, if I understanding is correct, it is towards moksha.
No.
Krishnagati,
Yeah, you can say it is towards moksha, but it is, you go to Brahmaloka, there you have to do all the Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam and then get moksha. So you have to go through you can't escape this process. So that is what it is, but they have got a higher chance. Whereas in Brahmaloka, Brahmaji himself is there. So you will learn from, Sakshat Brahmaji. So higher chance of understanding and all that. Ultimately, what the Upanishads will say is, why do you want to take that long route? You don't know how long it is going to take. You have got a Manushya Janma here. The same facilities are available here in this loka. Why don't you use that and get moksha here and now itself? That is the approach of the Upanishad. That is where ultimately they will come to, rather. Right? All these are all trying to scare us. Oh, this is the plus point, minus point, this, that, and all. That is the way, the approach of the Upanishads, rather. Okay.
Guruji, what is Krishnagati then?
Krishnagati is going to Swargaloka.
Okay.
Surya Gati, that is Shukla Gati to Brahmaloka, Krishna Gati, Swargaloka. Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
Hari Om, thank you. Yes, Srikanji.
Guruji, I want permission for asking a Sanskrit question. This is from Lalita Sahasranamam. Desha Kala Parichinna. They say Desha Kala Parichinna. Is it Desha Kala Parichinna or Desha Kala
Desha Kala Parichinna?
Desha Kala Parichinna. Okay. Because it's beyond
Beyond the
time and space.
space. Yeah.
Okay. So it's
Kala
Advaita
is
in
not
one
there.
some way.
Kala Parichinna. Yeah.
Kala. Okay, Guruji. Thanks a lot.
Very good. Thank you. Lataji.
Namaste, Guruji. Pranam.
Namaste, Pranam.
Guruji, my questions are more academic rather than the path that we are following, that you are leading us to. One is actually from I think I'm mixing up Bhagavad Gita question here, if that's okay, but you don't have to reply to that, Guruji. This faculty called free will is teasing my brain all the time. Guruji, you said at the beginning of the creation, when Brahmaji created the four Sarat Kumars, the problem was he also gave them free will. So they decided to go the Jnana Marga, and so there was no furthering of the human life. So then he created the Saptarishis. So does that mean the Saptarishis and the 14 Manus were not given free will, Guruji?
No. They were also having free will.
Hmm.
So they were actually
But they chose to go the...
Yes. So they used the free will. Brahmaji was a little careful. He gave the free will and sort of, I mean, these are all imagination of ours, right? I mean,
Yes.
we
That's
don't
why
know exactly what Brahmaji, but free
Yeah.
will, any human being is born with free will, right?
Hmm.
But Brahmaji probably introduced them only to the Purva Mimamsa. He didn't give them initially the idea of Jnana Yoga, Vedanta. So first he went to, probably earlier, he opened the whole thing.
Right.
And then these people said, oh, this is more attractive, so we will go take sannyasa and do this. But now he probably went, first karma kanda, do all these things, punya, vagera. So get married and all that. No. So probably because Brahmaji also must have taught these people, right?
Right.
So somehow through this teaching, because for Brahmaji the responsibility is or was that both karma kanda and jnana kanda are equally important. Both have come from Bhagavan only.
Yeah.
It has to be, both have to be taught.
Yeah.
So one set of people, if had some disappointment. Second set of people, he probably emphasized more that you should get married, and Vasishta and all, Arundhati, all that got married, had children and all. So that is how the whole world got created.
Okay, Guruji. Thank you for that answer.
All, I mean, all these things are all we have to put
They're
little
all-
bit of
they're
our
all
own imagination.
Hypothetical
Because there's
and-
no answer in Shastras for all these kind of
Yes.
things.
Yes, Guruji.
We have to understand it, put a little bit of imagination. That's
Yes.
it.
Thank you very much. My second, my second question is in the Krama Mukti, you go to Swargaloka, and there you acquire the right jnanam, and from there you attain Brahmaloka. So in Brahmaloka, acha, this I think I have mixed up my understanding is not very clear, because only in Bhuloka it is karma bhumi, where you can either karma sanchaya or karma nasha happens only in Bhuloka. So in Brahmaloka, so you can isn't acquiring jnana from Brahmaji itself, isn't that also a karma? But whereas karma is not possible in any other loka except Bhuloka.
No, karma is possible, but karma phalam is not possible. Even in Swargaloka, you have to do karmas, isn't it? You have to eat, means you have to do something. You may do puja and all, devatas and all come, you may, they will come on this road and all, you may give, like we have, when on festival days and all, when God comes in a chariot and all, we stop and do all this arati and all we do, Like
Yes,
that, suppose devatas and all come, we may do all that, but for that we will not get any result.
So what about the Shravanam, Mananam and Nididhyastanam that
that is not in Swargaloka.
No, no, in Brahmaloka, I'm saying.
Brahmaloka, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam is not going to give you any punya. It is only going to give you knowledge.
Okay.
Because of punya only you get the Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam opportunity.
Okay.
So there also, when you are actually earned a lot of punya with upasana, upasana based punya you have earned. You go to Brahmaloka. There, that punya result is you get Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam, opportunity to practice that, all those sadhanas, and under the guidance of Brahmaji himself. But
Yes.
there also you cannot earn any fresh punyas.
Mm.
Fresh punyas you can earn only in Bhuloka, no other loka. That is why Bhuloka alone is called Karma Bhumi amongst all the 14 lokas. All other lokas are only for exhausting the results of that punyam or papa.
So,
You can't
Shravanam,
earn
Mananam,
fresh.
Nididhyasanam, they are not considered as karma. And then
They are not considered as
dhanam,
karma, no.
dhanam, or the dhanam, what you obtain from that is also not considered as karma phala.
Jnanam is not considered as karma phala, no. In fact,
Right.
when you get the jnanam, you actually go beyond all this karma phala and all. You come to the stage where everything is mithya.
Yes, Guruji, got it, Guruji.
Everything, there is nothing, actually nothing exists like all this karma. So
Yes,
at this stage, we are saying all these things, but later on when we come to the second kanda and all, they'll say there is only one thing, which is Brahman alone. Nothing else is there. Everything is just an appearance. That's all. We'll discuss that when we come to that mantra.
Yes.
But that is the jnana. So that there is no question of any punya. You are punya atita hai, papa atita hai, karma atita hai, everything you are atita hai. You are beyond all those things. You are beyond time and space also.
Yeah.
That is the understanding. So aham brahmasmi means what? I am not one of the entities that you are seeing here. I am beyond time and space. I always existed. I will always exist. I have no death. I have no destruction. That is the final understanding.
Right. Yeah, wonderful, Guruji. Thank you very much. Beautiful. Thank you.
Hari
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Yes, Sulekha ji.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Thank you for today's class. I took away from today's class 2 points that you have brought up quite a number of times as well, and that you seem to be reinforcing, the Shastras seem to be reinforcing, so that we can not only hear the knowledge, but try to absorb it and then reflect it back as transformation within our own lives. In today's class, I was thinking a lot as you were speaking about focus and purpose. And I thought that those 2 points you had mentioned both in the mantras as well as in your explanations in the commentary of Acharya's commentaries. And my question today really is maybe a little bit more of a comment around focus and purpose. And what is our purpose in these classes, or in understanding and acquiring this knowledge, or maybe not even acquiring, reflecting, and how do we focus our own actions and our own life towards that purpose? And another point came through, which was simplification of life. All of the extraneous things that we have performed as grahistas, and now moving into stages like vanaprastha, trying to minimize our extraneous activities. And my question to you is, in your own experience, I don't want to ask personally, but how did that process come about in your experience, or even through your own gurus? The process where you slowly diminish those other, say, interests or those other responsibilities. And are there some tips or points that you feel like you may want to share? You don't have to, that helped you in your own understanding, whether it be through the Sanskrit and learning Sanskrit, or whether it be through uh, Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasana? I know it's a very long question, and maybe there's not time or inclination, but you as a guru and as an acharya, has there been one or two things that resonated with you as you listened to these mantras yourself? And how did you absorb those so that your life was actually a reflection of it and not just hearing the class and then logging off as soon as you've asked your own questions so that you go on to the next thing that happens in the daytime? So would you like to share something, or do you,
Yeah,
if you don't, that's
that is
also
not,
okay.
there are two things which are there, two aspects to your question. One aspect is the karma aspect, karma phala aspect, which is what brings all of us to this stage of entering into study of Upanishads, Shastra, etc. Okay. We should have had enough punyam for that purpose. And the other aspect is our free will aspect. Now, there are two approaches to all these studies we can do. One is an approach where we say, okay, all these are very good for me to study, remember, and all. I'll become a scholar. Probably, if I do well, I may even get selected in some university as a professor, etc., to teach Vedanta. That one approach is there. Many people take this approach. See, eventually, what will matter? What is your goal in life? What is your goal in life? Whatever be the goal, one has to understand that for achieving anything, you have to give up something to gain something. There is nothing called free lunch in this entire world, right? So, what the Shastras is telling us is you have to give up certain things if you want moksha to be your goal. Shastra doesn't promise that it will certainly happen, but the road it shows, this is the road you have to go. Now, that road, if we actually sit back and study, recall what we have studied in the Shastra, one of the important aspects of that goal is Vairagya. Vairagyam does not mean hatred. Vairagyam means not considering certain things as important, which we were earlier considering as very important. I'll give you a very small example. Earlier, maybe a few years ago, my children are abroad. Every day I expect them to call me. If one day they don't call, I will call them and question them why you have not called me. Of course, they will have a good excuse why they didn't call. We were busy with our work or whatever it is. But that anxiety was always there in me. Now, as I analyze, I say, see, they are all grown up, settled, and they are leading their own lives. So if they don't call me now, I don't get upset. I understand that, okay, they must be having some, reason for not calling. It is not that I should understand that they don't care for me. That is not the case. So the one stage, like that simple things. Then so many, relatives are there. In fact, if you see the mobile phone, the contact list, it runs into some, hundreds of contacts. Hardly we speak to one or two people, or maybe maximum 3-4 people regularly. But if you choose the work, I want to be popular among people, I want to be, seen by everybody, appreciated by everybody, etc. Then what you will do, even others don't call you, you will sit the whole day, keep calling people, saying hi, hello, this, that, and all, share what you have done, what you have not done. And all. So again, it's a question of choices that you make in life. I personally have made a choice that this is what I want to get to in my life. I want to be away from all these, that's why My life here in the farmhouse, such a wonderful life. I am grateful to Bhagavan. I have provided this. I have got interaction with only one person here, who is the guy who is actually, looking after the farmhouse and who does little bit of, work and all, kitchen work and all, washing the dishes, etc. He helps me in that. Other than that, even to Raji, I don't speak to her regularly at all. I speak to Raji, she's in Bombay. I speak to her only when there is a need for that. So, like that, I mean, I cannot say that everybody will have to follow the same pattern. My pattern is this. So, I have consciously tried to reduce the interaction with the world, both in terms of material things, in terms of relationships, and all these emotional entanglements and all. And I am slowly, slowly, slowly. It is not easy, rather. In fact, you have to first of all reduce the expectation of others from you. Because eliminating your expectation from others is in your part of your free will. You can do that. But what will you do when others are expecting certain things from you? How are you going to either fulfill the expectation or going to deny that expectation? These are all very, very challenging, situations as we actually, grow in the spiritual path. So there is no single formula kind of a thing. Every situation will evolve. Then we will have to manage the situation, keeping our ultimate goal in mind. This is my goal. And I have faith that if I follow this path, Shastra says that I will achieve that goal. Whether, if not in this birth, in the next birth. Isn't it? So keep going, keep going, keep going. Then I keep on asking, like Swami Paramarthananda, Swami Dayananda Saraswati, Swami Chinmayananda, all these people, why they did not get married? Why they did not have, a grihastha life? From brahmacharyam, they straight away went to sannyasa. So you ask that question to yourself. Then you have an answer. The answer is what they are in this birth is a continuation of what they were in the previous birth. So if at all I am not able to, gain moksha in this birth, but I would have actually developed enough vairagyam, and that vairagyam would be carried by my sukshma sharira to my next birth. So that vairagyam will actually make me sort of, be away, withdraw myself from all material things, from all relationship-oriented things. The only relationship I may have for some period of time will be with my parents. And then there is a possibility that I will actually get a guru. And then I may go to straightaway sannyasa and not get into this at all. So all these things and all, like a film script, I can actually go on explaining what goes on in my mind. So I am not anxious about any of these things. Okay. All these things came in my life. God was very, very, kind to me, gave good family, good children, good relatives, everything good. But you have to outgrow that. Now we go on outgrowing, little by little, little by little. That is the journey is all about. The journey is about outgrowing only. Journey is not about getting stuck somewhere, but getting yourself, extricate yourself and keep growing the way Shastra provides the guidance. That is the answer I can give you.
Thank you, Guruji. It's a
I don't know
beautiful
whether it helps
answer.
or not.
It does. It's the question was not to pry or be personal. This is not a forum, and it's not an interest or inclination of mine, but it is to see how our guides and our gurus have embodied or reflected the teachings that they have been been given. And it also acts as a good encouragement, at least for myself as a student, to know that this path is filled with those opportunities, to be of service, at the same time to develop a skill. It's an art form to be diplomatic and have good relations with the entire world, not to be more than others and not to be less than others, but to include others. And I think you have shared that in your own examples, and also you have shared that in the teaching. So my namaskarams to you, and thank you. It
Hari
has
Om.
been a very wonderful journey.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Any other questions? Or shall we close the session? I think we can close. No hands are going up. So we'll see you next week. Hari Om. Thank
Hari
you.
Om, Guru.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Hari Om.